What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It is Wednesday afternoon. It also means it's September 11th, 2024. If you have not done so yet today, please take a moment to remember and reflect on that awful day that we had in our country 23 years ago. No matter how bad you think we've got it right now, in terms of politics, in terms of economy, in terms of I don't know what problems you might have right now, nothing could be as awful as what we went through that day. And if you are an adult now and you were alive here to experience that, I didn't know we have some younger people that actually watch the channel. That was probably the worst day in the history of our country since I've been on this earth, and just absolutely tragic, absolutely senseless, and happened absolutely for no reason whatsoever. So many people, so many innocent people, so many good people, husbands, fathers, wives, mothers, children, parents who lost their lives there. Not only people who were in those towers, who were on those airplanes, but first responders as well. Just an absolutely awful situation, and it should never be forgotten. I went to a football game 3 years ago, right as we were coming out of the pandemic. It was actually the first game that we were able to go to where there was at full capacity. It was on September 11th, 2021, which would have been the 20th anniversary of that. And I just don't think that any kind of remembrance or anything was even paid to it that day. I was really shocked to hear that, and it was kind of disappointing. So just remember that day, and just always hold your loved ones close to your heart. Anyway, getting on to the point of the video here today, we're going to talk LSU versus South Carolina. That's what I have for you this Saturday afternoon at noon. College game day coming to Williams-Brice Stadium and the Gamecock Park. Now, before I get done with this video, let me warn you ahead of time. Some of you that are sunshine pumpers, some of you that only like to hear what's good, may not like what Carolina Jackpot's got to say in this video. So in case you do, make sure that you go in your closet and find your Gen Z toboggan and go find your safe space, because you may need it before the end of this video. Who does I sound like right there? Anyway, LSU is going to present a number of challenges to the Gamecocks they have not faced so far this year. Coming in with a record of 1-1 with a loss to the USC Trojans and a win at home this past Saturday against Nicholls State. They come in ranked number 16 in the country. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is the biggest concern to me for South Carolina. Now, I know South Carolina's defense has played pretty well. We're actually currently ranked number 30 in the country in total defense, which I don't know when the last time was that happened, even through just 2 games and the small sample size that we have to go on. This guy has thrown 8, not 18. That would be crazy. 8 touchdown passes this year against 1 interception. The thing about it is, Carolina has not faced a quarterback who is able to push the ball down the field like Garrett Nussmeier has. You'd have to go back to last season, probably when we faced Mizzou and Brady Cook back in October, before you would find another time we faced a somewhat similar quarterback with a somewhat similar skill set. Now, I think that right now, Cook probably has more weapons around him and a better running game than what Nussmeier had. But as quarterbacks go, they're fairly similar. Cook may be a little bit more mobile, but I think Nussmeier may be able to actually push the ball down the field a little bit better than Brady Cook. He's really, really good, and I just think that they're going to be able to stretch that field on us. South Carolina has not played good quarterbacks in week 1 or week 2. The young man from Old Dominion was a little bit more athletic when he was able to get out of the pocket than what Vandergriff has. Vandergriff had absolutely no time to do anything. South Carolina's ends, Dylan Stewart in terms of Kyle Kennard, and then in terms of Tonka Hemingway, Alex Boogie Huntley, and TJ Sanders in the middle of that defensive line were just able to put pressure on this guy all day long. And we thought that Kentucky had a really good offensive line. And I don't know that Kentucky doesn't have a decent offensive line. I don't know if these guys were just that disruptive. But I got to think that it's kind of got to be a little bit of a combination of both, because that line allowed 0 sacks versus Southern Miss. Now, I know the difference between Southern Miss's pass rush and South Carolina's pass rush is like night and day. But he had all day to sit back there and throw the ball against Southern Miss. He didn't have anything like that against South Carolina. So if South Carolina is able to generate that kind of pass rush against LSU, it's going to force Nussmeier into an area that he's not comfortable, and that's being under pressure. I don't know that we're going to be able to get that kind of pressure on them, and I'm leaning towards we're not. Now, I think they have one offensive lineman who may be questionable here, but that line as a unit is one of, if not the best offensive lines in the country. They're solid, they're well coached. They don't have a running game to speak of, though. Their leading rusher for the year is John Emery. He's rushed for 61 yards, and he's out with a torn ACL. He tore his ACL in practice back last week before the Nicholls State game. So I really don't know what they're going to do there in terms of at the running back position. But LSU, we know, recruits well. They have talent. They're going to find somebody to plug that hole and fill that void at running back. Now, I was kind of disappointed in South Carolina's, tendency to stop the run, or tendency to not stop the run, we shall say. This past Saturday against Kentucky, the little number 0, Sumo Karangbe, that was the one bright spot Kentucky had on their offense. He was kind of knifing through the middle of that South Carolina defensive line and picking up 6, 7, 8 yards at a clip there for a while. I think he finished with like 70-something yards rushing, and he did get stuffed for a few plays of 0 to negative yards. So if you add that in there, it probably still netted about 80 to 90 yards, somewhere in that area. That's too much. That's absolutely too much. Given the excellent pass rush you have, that just doesn't fit with it. That doesn't fit with it. You've got to find a way to shore that up. That defensive line has been getting gashed for years. By no-name running backs, by good running backs, by middle-of-the-road running backs. It's time to stop letting this happen. I think we'll find someone on Saturday that we probably never heard of for LSU who's probably going to be getting 4, 5, 6 yards a clip. And that's really concerning to me, because Nussmeier is going to get that ball pushed down the field. He likes to throw it to Kyron Lacey. This is a future NFL player. I'm just thinking that LSU may get out in front of South Carolina early. They may jump out in front 14-0, 14-7, something like that, and we're playing from behind. Why is that? South Carolina's offense still has not evolved yet, and I know Lenora Sellers looked better last week. The run game with Rocket Sanders, as we went on into the second half, it started looking better and better. It looked like he's picking up confidence. He's picking up steam. He's going to have to continue doing that. We need to see something from some of these other running backs as well. Oscar Attaway got into the game Saturday, maybe had 1-2 carries, really nothing to speak of there in terms of production from him. Juju McDowell has been very unproductive from the running back spot as well so far this season, especially in that game against Kentucky Saturday. I think that South Carolina has misused Juju McDowell since day one, since he got on campus. And that goes through Marcus Satterfield on to Dowell Loggins. I think the guy's just been misused. He's a 5'8", 170, 180 pound guy. Yeah. Kick returner, yes. But he is this guy is not someone who needs to be running in between the tackles. And it seems like he's always running in between the tackles. He's too small, and he's not fast enough to get any kind of burst running in between the tackles. Now, if you could bounce him to the outside somewhere with his small size and allow him to pick up some speed, I think that would be the key there, and use him in like a slot receiver type role. But I just think that pounding someone and pounding them in between the tackles year after year after year when you know that it's unproductive is just, it's the definition of insanity. You're doing the same old crap, and it hasn't worked in years, and it's still not working with him. Why try to force a damn square peg into a round hole? So I'd like to see them do something different with him, but I doubt it's going to happen. I think South Carolina's offense is probably still going to be kind of stuck in that muddy, rudderless mess that they were stuck in. Weather is supposed to be bad at this game in terms of, like maybe some tropical storm type rain stuff. That would favor the Gamecocks if we end up having something like that the entire game. But once again, we don't know, right? Defensively, though, I think the Gamecocks, if they come to play, if they're able to actually get some pressure on that LSU offensive, if they're able to get some pressure on LSU and able to beat some blocks off that offensive line, which is going to be hard to do because they haven't given up any sacks all year, then I think we stand a chance here at being successful. But unfortunately, I have a hard time with it. I really have a hard time seeing it. And this is not college game days here. We're smelling our own farts. We're still thinking about the Kentucky win. It's not that. I think the coaches are going to have them prepared for this game. Shane Beamer and staff, they did a really good job last week of getting that team prepared to go play that game at Kentucky. They prepared very well. It actually impressed me. And I haven't said enough good stuff about Beamer and the crew, but I will say this, that they did impress me with the way they had that team prepared to play Kentucky. This is a totally different animal here. There's also a little X factor here, too, that nobody's mentioned yet. What about the Lincoln Riley factor? He beat LSU in week 1. And we know that Shane Beamer worked for Lincoln Riley. Do you think he's called Lincoln, or do you think Lincoln's called him and given him a little tips, a few pointers on how they beat LSU? I know these coaches talk to each other. I know they develop friendships and working relationships. I would hope that Shane Beamer's talked to him about what they did, what kind of wrinkles they threw at LSU, exactly what they did to knock this team off. So that's not stealing signals either. That's exchanging information. So we know Beamer likes to steal signals. We know he ain't against cheating here and all that crap. But I just think that LSU is probably a little bit longer than South Carolina. I think a little bit too fast for South Carolina. I think that it's not the greatest matchup. And I know in the offseason when I dig my pick and prediction videos, I predict us to win this game. At that time, I did not think that Nussmeier would have progressed like he has as a starting quarterback. I think this guy's going to just get better and better and better. So with that being said, I think what's going to happen is they're going to jump out in front early, maybe 14-21-7, something like that. And then I think South Carolina's going to kind of wet fart the game up, as I like to call it. And maybe it gets to be 21-10, maybe 21-17. And then I think that the offense just keeps having 3 and outs. They're not able to consistently move the ball. And unfortunately, the defense is going to wear out. And I think LSU probably scores a late touchdown or two to make the game, to make the final score look worse than it actually was. I can see them winning this game 31-34-17, 31-14, something like that. I do think LSU covers the spread in this game, and I think they win the game outright. Outright. I hope I'm wrong. I absolutely hope that I'm 100% wrong, and obviously we will be in front of this TV live streaming this game at noon on Saturday afternoon, because I wouldn't have missed it for the world, and you know this, but I'm giving you my educated guess here. I'm going to watch this video that Josh Pate put out, or the little clip it from his show last night. Did he pick LSU or pick South Carolina? What did he pick on that? What was this one of his oodles of noodles best bets? You know, because people say, you know, if you bet with him all year long, you're going to make money. That's what I was told down in the comment section below. That's fine. We'll see. I'm going to start tracking him this week, and I'm going to see how accurate these oodles of noodles best bets actually are. But as far as for Carolina Jackpot's oodles of noodles best bet, I think LSU covers the spread in this game. Unfortunately, I think they win the game outright. And that's all I've got for you guys. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I absolutely hope I'm wrong. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit it with a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel if you're not subscribed already. I had an individual over in the comment section of one Rooster Man who told me, I was back and forth with this guy the other day. He made a smart-ass comment, and I told him, you know, if you got something to say, if you want to know what I'm doing right now, sir, how about get in my comment section and ask me, where I might actually see the comment instead of just I'm scrolling through somebody else's comments, I just happen upon it. He says, I wouldn't watch your channel if you paid me to. I unsubscribed after the Old Dominion game, after the way you acted about a game that we can't even control, which we won. Number one, okay, well, you were subscribed, which means you're watching videos at some point in time, but now we couldn't pay you to watch one? Come on, bro. Second of all, you sound like a sunshine pumper. Oh, we won the game. I mean, what else do you want? Some of these people just don't understand the game of Hut Hut very well, do they? Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Appreciate you. Peace, and I'm out of here. Go Gamecocks.